I'd like to call to order the City of O'Fallon Parks and Recreation Advisory Board meeting for July 14th. Can I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Elder.
Here.
Ms. Hawbaker.
Here.
Mr. Hester is excused. Mr. Coaster.
Here.
Mr. Tremmel.
Here.
Ms. Williams.
Here.
Ms. Wilson is absent. Councilmember Wexler.
Present.
Jim, can you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I'd like to get approval on the agenda for the agenda for June.
Go ahead.
Somebody want to give me a,
Elder.
Coaster.
thank you. And an approval on the minutes for June 9th.
Aye.
All in favor, say aye.
Oh, I'm sorry. All in favor for the approval on the agenda, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Thank you. Any negatives? Thank you. Can I have a motion for the approval on the minutes?
Elder.
Coaster.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Do we have any citizens' comments? No? They're always beating down our doors. All right, division reports. Parks report?
All right, good evening, everyone. Got quite a bit of information for you this evening. So we were down 4 full-time employees. We had made 3 offers, which 2 have started, and then unfortunately the third one backed out. So we are still down 2 full-time employees. So not really where we like to be in the summertime when things are in full effect, but we are working through that. Let's see here. Landscape team mulched all the beds in Civic Park and Westhoff Park, Carshield Field, Knaust, and Westhoff Park, and Ozzie. They put in some time to get Ozzie looking good for the Heritage and Freedom Fest coming up that we had. With that, I just wanted to thank the entire city staff in general. Just everyone has a hand in HFF, and it takes a lot to get all that together, and with Jennifer's guidance and task list, that helps us out tremendously. But again, just thank you to all the staff that helped out with that. There's a picture in the monthly report. We do these monthly safety meetings, and Eric Duffner led the one for us in June, and that was on turf-related chemicals. So he's just sitting there with the team and kind of going over that, and after that, they do a little bit more hands-on mixing. But that's a good time to kind of get out of the heat. We try and time that right so that they're not doing that in the wee hours of the morning when it's nice and cool out. Do that in the afternoons. Carshield Field, we did have a substantial water break that we had found, and the staff did find it and replace it. The construction team took the lead in finding that break, and were able to get it fixed. It happened right leading into the 4th of July, so it made things really interesting because that team of 4 has a big impact on setup, so we had to kind of shuffle a little bit. And again, just thank you for staff for doing that. Sod repairs were completed at Sports Park and a little bit at Dames. The majority of it was in the goal mouse on the soccer fields. Unfortunately, over the 4th of July, we did lose our variable frequency drive that powers our well, and that well provides water to our irrigation, which we're doing a lot of hand watering on those sod areas, so not ideal. So we're working through getting that replaced. We just found out yesterday that it's more than just a little issue. It's a VFD replacement, so that's going to take some time to bid out and get taken care of. So the timing on that is not great for us. Also at Sports Park, we've had a slide down for a while. The new slide just arrived. It was actually warrantied. Unfortunately, it arrived damaged, And it's a fairly large slide. It takes up a lot of footprint. So I'm not happy that we have had it closed so long. I was really looking forward to getting that replaced. So we're working through with the vendor to get a new slide sent out and hope to have that hopefully up in the next 4 to 6 weeks. Hopefully we can get that fixed. Carson Prescott is one of our new hires. He's in your packet today, and he's working down at Sports Park. So again, we're happy to have him on board. You probably noticed, especially for those of you that worked HFF, that Westhoff Park, we had a ceiling project that we were able to complete. With that, when you do a ceiling project like that, you also have to look at your all your accessible parking, and that's the time to update it. And so we did. So down by the tennis courts, you should see quite a bit of improvements there. We have a crosswalk and a sidewalk, and you're going to see a lot more as the year goes on because we have this threeplex field conversion we're doing. That's kind of like the ugly dirt area we're slowly building up and compacting. But all of the asphalt in front of the tennis courts is going to be replaced with concrete and get all of that accessible from the parking lot all the way in. So that's going to be some big improvements, and we hope to have that completed by spring ball of next year. All right, bear with me here. Civic Park, I'm a little embarrassed to say this, but we're dealing with it. Again, with our staff shortages, it's kind of hinders us a little bit, but there's a dead tree in that upper pool parking lot, and that's getting dealt with tomorrow. So if you have noticed that, that's been on our radar as well, and we're going to get to that tomorrow. So that'll be taken care of. Lake Wetzel was stocked with 100 catfish. We do that 3 times a year. People who fish can harvest the catfish at 4 per day. So that's what we stocked the lake with. Landscape team also did a lot of mulching at City Hall and Justice Center. This is the time of year they have a lot of seasonals that are on board, and that team goes out and does the majority of our mulching, and we're very thankful to have them. At City Hall, you probably haven't noticed yet just because this entrance at the rotunda isn't open yet, but they did just get that all planted. The trees will come in the fall. There's no reason to plant it right now. It'll make it really hard for them to survive, so the tree replacement will be this fall. The landscape team also did all the flags on Main Street that you saw with the America 250 and just in coordination with the parade. So that was all done by them as well. And finally, Brian Meyer, he started full-time. He had been with us seasonally for, I believe, 2 years with the landscape team. And he is on our mow team that does all of our land, kind of our higher end facilities like City Hall, Justice Center, K-Clip, those types of items. With that, I'll stand for any questions you may have.
Question about the being short 2 staff. What is the difference between full-time and full-time seasonal? Are they treated the same, or what are you actually down, seasonal or full-time year-round?
I'm down year-round, full-time, 2,080 hours a year, full-time employee, not a seasonal. Yeah.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Yes, sir.
I don't remember, but did you set up a table during the fair for recruiting for open positions?
We did not. We were doing our best to staff the event to get things done. We didn't have a recruiting table. We did have a job fair here at City Hall at the beginning of summer where we did sit for that and met with a lot of people. There's a tech school that I reached out to as well, and then our HR department also reached out to Merrimack Community College to try and target some of the applicants, especially for the horticulturist side. The guys did make an offer to fill one of our horticultural specialist positions just last week, and that person has accepted, so we're hoping to have landscape team fully staffed. I didn't get into that. The 2 that are missing right now are from the park side.
Do you think a volunteer would be able to handle a recruitment table at the fair, or do you think a volunteer wouldn't have enough knowledge or background to be able to do that?
That's a good question. That might be more directed at HR, and I think we could ask them and see what they think. Yeah, to be honest, like we did do the fair brings in a lot of people, of course, so I think that could potentially have a good opportunity for it. So yeah, I think it's something to think about.
Jeremy, I wanted to ask, I don't know if this has already been addressed or not, but when last time I was at Civic Park at the playground, I was checking out the playground, some of the tiles were kind of, torn up and,
They're separated, right?
yeah, they're separated. And some of the gaps were pretty big, and I was a little concerned about it being a safety issue. Do you know if that's been addressed? I haven't seen it for 2 weeks.
Yeah, it has not. It is something that's on our radar. We're having that problem a lot with a lot of our parks with the safety tile. We've done a couple things to try and help that along, and what we're slowly switching over to is the synthetic turf when we can. Dames Park is the playground at Corporate Pavilion is slated to be replaced this year, and then we're going to switch to a different style surface there. Unfortunately, we can't go with the synthetic turf at Dames because of the flooding that takes place out there. But the Civic Park one is something we're going to get taken care of. Yeah, I appreciate you bringing that up. It helps me keep kind of track of that.
Thank you. And also I understand that the dance floor, the cement slab out there is going to be made larger, but do we have a time frame on, obviously you can't do it now in the middle of jam and concerts, but do we have an idea of when that's going to be done?
Yes. I hope to have it done this fall. I need to talk to Bill a little bit more. I want to rein that in a little bit. We were going to just add concrete and kind of remove the flowers that everyone looks at, and I'm not super excited about that.
I like the flowers.
So I actually talked to Tim Schneiders, who's our facility maintenance construction lead, and David James with landscape, and we're going to meet here towards the end of summer and kind of look at it one more time and make sure we keep it looking nice for all the events. So yeah, we hope to do it this fall. That was actually one of the councilwomen requested that at budget last year, and we were really hoping to get it done before jamming kicked off in summer. But the turf project at Ozzy really, it was all hands on deck to push to get that done. And then we've had these things pop up like water leaks and stuff like that. So it'll be ready by Memorial Day weekend next year. I will
Great.
make sure of it.
Thank you. Anything else? All right. Recreation report?
Excuse me. On June 25th, we received a proclamation from Mayor Hennessy and Councilman Wexler dedicating July as National Parks and Recreation Month. As part of the celebration for that, we are having numerous activities and free events for community members, which includes a Splash Pad Social on July 16th. We're doing an Art in the Park event on the 23rd. We're doing a family fitness event at Dames Park on July 27th. They'll be doing like a family kickboxing event. We'll have another Splash Pad Social, this time at Alligators Creek. And then we also, to wrap up the end of the month, we're going to be doing a Messy Mania event at Sports Park.
What, excuse me, a what mania?
It's a Messy Mania. Messy.
Oh, messy. Okay, yeah, they talked about that before. Okay, got it. Messy mania.
Have to wash clothes afterwards?
Probably. But hopefully it won't be too much. On the weeks leading up to Heritage and Freedom Fest, KMOV, Great Day on the Road showcase O'Fallon throughout the week. There were pre-recorded segments featuring the Herald Home, Fort Zumwalt, Alligators Creek Aquatic Center, and the Shape the Community Sculpture Series, and also the Path of Heroes, which also led up to a live broadcast the day of the event. We have hosted 206 birthday parties year to date compared to 308 total in 2025, putting us on track to exceed last year's total bookings more than 33%. For sports, we had 73 teams enrolled in summer softball, an increase of 12 teams compared to last year. The athletics team also added a Friday night session of t-ball and coach pitch. And then for the aquatics team, we hosted our annual swim instructor inclusion meeting. We partner with the city of St. Peter's, where we work with teaching the instructors on how to work with kids with disabilities. So we're pretty proud of them for hosting that. New this year at Alligators Creek Aquatic Center, we are doing a tot time on select Fridays. As of right now, the first 2 sessions, we had 29 participants.
So what is tot time?
Tot time happens an hour before the Alligators Creek Aquatic Center opens, where families of young toddlers can come in and play in our splash pad, not our splash pad, our leisure area with the play structure. That way it's just a dedicated time for them where they're not overstimulated with all the older kids and the additional loud noises during our normal operation hours.
Okay, thank you.
What's the age limit on that?
I believe it's 5 years old. I can double check that for you.
Just curious, thank you. Okay, any other questions? Okay, tourism and festivals?
I just wanted to thank, and I know on behalf of Jennifer and Craig and everybody, we want to thank everybody for all their hard work and dedication to Heritage and Freedom Fest. We honestly couldn't do it without everybody, so I wanted to thank you guys. Jammin', we have 4 more concerts. We're having good crowds each night. OTW troupe performed at the June 23rd Jammin' concert. For Food Truck and Frenzy Night, there is a DJ that was secured, and so was Dreamtime Characters. HFF. The June. It looks like there isn't a whole lot. The stadium event, they received payment for the final vendor, fully booked for food and beverage. Theater, the OTW troupe performed at the June 23rd Jammin'. An OTW troupe was approved to perform at Shakespeare in the Park. And CAC, there is no meeting due to lack of quorum. In regards to education, there was a beginner's plein air watercolor. 2 sessions were moved indoors due to weather, and they were moved to the senior center. They had 10 participants. For Shape of Community, all SOC sculptures have been installed. City galleries, 3 pieces were sold from the City Hall show. For FITA, 34 artists were accepted into the final festival. This is already passed, but for the first Homestead Days, there were 16 people, and there was 1 private group tour at the Herald Home and Fort, which brought in about 10 people.
Any questions for Ann? The OTW troupe that performed on June 23rd at Jammin', the crowd just loved them. There was a bunch of kids, and they did a couple of different things, and the crowd just went crazy with that. They loved it. They really, really enjoyed that. So that was a good call on that one.
I'll make a note of it, and I'll let them know.
Thank you. Okay, no more questions for Ann? Old business? Anybody want to discuss anything that we've talked about that's old? Old business, not old people? Sorry, John, no old people, just old business. Okay. New business, current path projects. Hi, Lily.
I'm Lily Thomas. I'm the project manager in the engineering department. Thank you for having me.
Is your mic on?
Yeah, it's not on. If you can just speak up, that would, you know,
Can they pick it up? That's what we recording.
It's supposed to be on the recording too.
oh, yeah.
When the time capsule's open 50
Oh, I
years
see
from now,
what
they
they're
can
doing.
hear
They're
it.
gonna, okay, got it. Yeah.
And for the ADA transcription and all that?
Yeah.
Did she see a runner?
Science has triumphed again.
Thank you for bearing with us. She's going to get it pulled up here just in a second.
Thank you.
Okay.
Here we go.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, perfect. My name is Lily Thomas. Thanks for having me. I'm a project manager in the engineering department. I'm here tonight to talk to you all about some current path projects. This presentation will cover the Twin Island Trailhead, the Darden Greenway Sports Park to Bluebird Meadow Park project, and the Highway End Shared Use Path. Here is a rendering we had from our engineers of the Twin Island Trailhead project. This project was previously referred to as the Darden Greenway Connector and the Bush Connector. Also, it's been referred to as the Technology Drive Trailhead, but we ended up landing with administration approval on the Twin Island Trailhead. If we have any locals in the room, you might be familiar with the Twin Island Campground that used to be in the same area. So we kind of went with a name after that. So when we first applied for federal funding for this project, we were going to do a standalone pedestrian bridge. Through planning and scoping and starting the approval process, we were able to partner with MoDOT to partner on the project and rebuild the Technology Drive Bridge. On the bridge, we were able to include a 12-foot wide shared use path, and it just helped the project and it really enhanced everything in the area. We think it was a really good partnership and turned out to be a really good choice. The city actually secured the design firm for the whole project, so it's a MoDOT standard bridge, a Technology Drive Bridge, and we worked with the engineers to do all the design work, partnered with MoDOT to verify all the specifications and everything, and it turned out really well. The full project cost about $3.87 million. MoDOT's construction costs were about 2.2, and the city's construction costs were about 1.7. The city was awarded a TAP funds from just federal funding, and about $539,000 of that went towards construction. The city will also be receiving about $275,000 from our partner Great Rivers Greenway. And we are expected to get a little bit more money back from MoDOT. We're getting a credit toward the expenses for the project for the design. Since the city secured the design engineer, we're going to get a credit for that. Here are just some pictures of the construction progress. On the left, you can see the start of the construction in November, and then the second picture is nearing the completion of construction in April. And the bridge spans Darden Creek. Here's another picture from December. You can see all the rebar in the bridge, and then in March when the concrete's poured, curing, and almost ready for fencing. Here is kind of the turnaround circle near one of the main focal points of the trailhead. On the left is during construction in January, and then on the right is in May. Here are just some more pictures of the near complete construction. They have a nice asphalt approach to the new bridge, 12-foot shared use path coming off the bridge connecting to trail on either side. There's some apartment complexes, and then also it connects to the existing Bluebird Meadow Park trails. Here's just some more photos of the near finished project, and we actually did have a ribbon cutting event that was held on June 23rd. I don't know if any of you were able to come, but it was a nice hot day, and we're really excited to get people out there. There has been lots of people out there. I've been by a few times. It's busy. The final thing that we're waiting on is the wayfinding signage. So the project technically isn't fully complete. They still got to get some signage out there, but they're still within their contract time technically. So just waiting on the signs, and they actually should be out there sometime this week. Here's just some photos from the event.
I have a quick question, if I can interrupt you. Is there any plans or discussion to continue into the Bush Wildlife area on the other side of Interstate 64?
Yeah, so we would like to extend into Bush Wildlife. As far as I know, there's currently a hold on any construction in Bush Wildlife. So from all the channels we have been able to contact, we're kind of just at a standstill. We do have desire to go in there. We actually added another sign. The path that goes under the bridge, we're putting a sign that says Future Bush Wildlife Connection. So we are excited to do that someday.
You're waiting on the state conservation to allow that? Okay.
Yeah.
That's great, thank you.
Is there a way to get under I-64 there to get to August A. Bush?
So we are going under right now. The trailhead does go under the bridge.
It goes under-
It stops at a turnaround circle on the other side once you're past both bridges. So we did pave under there.
Okay, I've seen it. I walked up to where there's a big barrier under on the far side of Technology Drive, but I couldn't get farther. So
Oh, yeah.
it's high enough to go underneath it. That's great.
Yeah, so the path goes under the bridges. There is like a man-made trail that goes back into Bush. That's kind of where our stopping point is for right now, though.
I think next time I'll spray some bug spray on and go underneath I-64 just to see where it goes.
Yeah.
I have a question about that trailhead. The parking holds, I think, somewhere around 12 or 16 cars.
It's 9.
9.
And a handicap spot, too, so 10.
I had seen in the instructions for the ribbon cutting that there's a way to get from where that parking area is up to that community college parking lot that's kind of up the hill.
Mm-hmm.
Is that going to be marked so that people know there's overflow parking available up that hill?
I'm not sure that is a great idea. Kind of when we're putting out information, we do try to tell people where our connections are. Great Rivers Greenway actually maintains the Bluebird Meadow Path trail that connects back there. I think they let people know that they can park over at the community college as well. But that is a good idea to get more information
I
about
couldn't
for
figure
overflow.
out how to get up there. So,
Yeah.
but the other alternative would be to park at the other end of the trail over by Bluebird Park, right, and walk that way to it.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a farther walk, but yeah, there's more parking over there too.
Okay, thank you.
And you can see on this map, so the project I just talked about is on the left. It's the Twin Island Trailhead. And then there's all that path system in between, which is the Bluebird Meadow Park and the Greenway system that GRG has going on through there, through Darden Prairie. And then our next project is going to be on the other side. It's going to be our Bluebird Meadow to Sports Park project. And we're actually intending to tie in to the Bluebird Meadow Park loop and then bring the trail all the way back to Sports Park. So for the Bluebird Meadow to Sports Park project, we're going to do a 12-foot wide shared use path. Like I said, it spans from the Bluebird Meadow Loop. It crosses behind 2 golf courses, and then it crosses into Sports Park all the way to Highway K. We did have some trouble getting this design going because we had to coordinate with MoDOT. It was originally going to go on Highway K and try to cross and then connect, but the lane shifts and everything that went along with that was very challenging. So we ended up getting approval for them to do an underpass, which seems a little bit safer. So we're really excited for that. It did require us to do kind of like a project scope change though. And since we have federal funding in the project, that was a whole process to get that approved and all that fun stuff. But I am really excited for where the project is now. We had hoped to be starting construction this fall, but realistically, construction might be pushed back to the end of this year or early next year. This project has an estimated project construction cost of $4.9 million. The city, oh, I did edit these a little bit, but I must not have uploaded the right one. The city has an estimated construction cost of a little higher than this, just about $2.3 million. We did get awarded $900,000 in TAP funds from the federal government, and we are expected to receive some large contributions from GRG in St. Charles County. GRG is planning to put in $1.4 million into this project, and we have a current agreement on file with St. Charles County to put in $450,000 towards the construction, but we are in talks with them right now to potentially split the remaining construction costs 50-50, which would put our costs to about $1.289 million and theirs to $1.289 million. These are just the costs per the engineer's bid, or sorry, per the engineer's estimate. We have not bid out this project, so things could fluctuate a little bit once we get real expenses in. And then I'm just going to highlight a few of the main points of the project. So first is the connection at Bluebird Meadow Park. We're connecting right into the end loop there. Then from there we have a 150-foot span prefab bridge that's going to be coming in, and it's a fairly large bridge. We're going to have to build up some abutments over the creek, and it's going to have to be craned in. After that, it crosses behind the Links of Darting golf course, and it crosses the creek there with some culvert crossings. It's going to pass then behind another golf course and then to a crossing in Sports Park, where we are going to have a rapid flashing beacon crossing. And as you're approaching this intersection, we are going to do some rumble strips on the road. So it's not very fast through here, but it's kind of right at a curve. So they are going to do the rumble in the road and then have the rapid flashing beacon crossings. Then from there, it just traverses across Sports Park until we get to the rest area. We're kind of going to beef up the rest area. There's going to be some seating walls, some signage. This is one of the only connections on the Greenway path system that has connections to a bathroom, so that will be really nice. It's right there at the concession stand too, so if something's going on, someone could stop, take a nice break. The path then traverses again from Sports Park to K, and you can either go under K through the underpass, or if you're trying to connect onto the bike loop lanes that are currently on Highway K, you could go up either leg, and then if you're going north, you could connect onto the north lanes. If you're trying to go south, you could connect there. Pedestrian travel would be recommended to only go to the farther side, because then you could connect up to the path system up by the car dealership. There on the east side too, there's a kind of another turnaround circle where St. Charles County plans to expand path to the east.
So the path that goes along Sports Park Drive is actually going to be on the area that now is kind of like between the parking lot and the road?
Yeah, so it's like a grassy area right now.
All right, and it'll have to cross 2 or 3 entrances to the parking lot as well?
Yes, it will. I think there's 3 shown there and then maybe 1 on the other, yeah. So there are a few cross points. It gets challenging to find another area to put it. There's an existing path kind of back behind the parking lots, but that kind of takes you away from the main line of where we're trying to send the greenway. We're hopeful that things will be very obvious for car traffic as well as the pedestrians traveling here. We do have some warning signs on the trail before you get to these crossings coming from either direction. This is definitely, we talked about this a lot during planning. Luckily, Jeremy was helping us. So we got input from the parks guys and some really good traffic people too. And we're confident that this will be a pretty good path direction.
So there wasn't any room to do the walkway on the sports park side on the other side of the trees, like along Sports Park Drive on the south side?
There really wasn't. So we're getting very close to the creek bank on that side. You reach a certain point, everything kind of just falls over. You won't be able to hold a slope there. So it was challenging. Everything we did, we also had to be careful not to affect the creek. This whole project maintains a no-rise for the Darden Creek, which is very important. If we didn't achieve that, we might not have been able to build this even. So every crossing we did had to make sure that the water level wasn't going to rise due to the construction or the permanent structures there. So,
Thank you.
The restrooms you mentioned, is that seasonal? That's not a year-round bathroom facility?
They're year-round.
They are?
They're
Oh.
heated and cooled.
Okay, very good. And also, I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but is this Blue Way been any talk about this, or this is all Greenway you're focusing on?
yeah, so this is the Greenway. This is kind of what my department has been focusing on. I know we've had conversations with the Parks Department, and St. Charles County is really working on beefing up. There is a connection near Highway K right now. That's right, Jeremy. Isn't
There's
it?
a sign right there on the left-hand side of that one diagram that says mile marker 18 for the Blue Way.
Yeah, so they are going out and putting the mile markers, and they're starting to beef up some of the entry points. This specific project doesn't connect there, but I think if you went through Sports Park, there are ways to get to that Blue Way entry point on K.
Yeah, and on the east side of K, directly across from the park, there's an asphalt path that takes you all the way down, and there is a ramp. That's something St. Charles County Parks had put in. We don't have any parking, so we're not. We kind of blocked it off just from people. We don't want people pulling over on Highway K and trying to unload a kayak right there. It's just not a good setup right currently for that. And like Lily had said, we had lots of discussion about the way the trail was going to go. We even looked at kind of near the golf course side, but all of our irrigation and our valve banks are all there, and that area holds a lot of water. So there was a lot of discussion about that, kind of trying to figure out what the best route was to get them through. And then St. Charles County also occasionally, I don't know how often they're doing it, but they've definitely been up and down the creek trying to keep things clear at times. Our team actually did a float along with them last summer, and we do our best to keep our area open as well.
Here's just a broader system map. You can see our 3 projects. I'm going to talk about the third in a minute, but our 3 projects are circled in red. So the Technology Drive Twin Island Trailhead is on the far left. Then you have everything at the Bluebird Meadow Park in the middle, and then the Sports Park to Bluebird Meadow Park project. And then we are also working on a highway end shared use path now, which would be that upper right path. But us, Great Rivers Greenway, and now City of Cottleville even, we're all trying to fill in those gaps. So some of those dashed lines just to the right of the sports park project are planned future greenway connections. And once they connect basically to where we're leading off, it would bring everyone to be able to travel all the way up that greenway system northeast of here. So the last project I'm going to talk about is the Highway N shared use path. This is a newer project that we've been working on. I started this at the end of last year into this year. We had applied for federal funding for this in 2025 and we did not receive it. Because of that, we were encouraged by St. Charles County to pursue design. So they were able to partner with us to get the design going and then reapply for federal funding in 2026. We just recently got word that we are going to be recommended for funding in 2026 and for the future project. So we went ahead and got started on design. This project is going to span from Spring Orchard Drive to Meadow Lake Drive on Highway N. It is going to be a 10-foot wide, varying to 14-foot wide path. And it's going to have a lot of high visibility crossings, ADA compliant crosswalks and things like that.
Excuse me, you said from where to where? It says from Longwheat Drive to Meadow Lake Drive?
Spring Orchard Drive.
Spring Orchard Drive, not Longwheat.
No.
Okay. Spring, okay, got it. Yeah, okay.
And I know that picture was a little hard to see. I'll break it down a little more on the next few slides. So we were able to partner with St. Charles County to get the design going, and we secured a design firm to help us, and we were able to actually complete the preliminary plans in early 2026. After that, we were able to apply again for federal funding. This project is going to be recommended on the TIP. The consultant is currently working on the utility coordinations and getting the environmental review process started. As they're doing that, the plans might be tweaked just a little bit here or there depending on those needs. Then we should be scheduled, based on the federal application, you can only have one phase of work per year. So that would have us starting right of way in 2027 and then construction for this path in 2028. And both St. Charles County and the city of Cottleville have agreed to partner with us for this construction. The end of the project does technically end in Cottleville, so them agreeing to partner with us to do this project is very good. When we apply for federal applications like this, we can't just do a path to nowhere, so we couldn't just stop the path at the edge of OFallon. We had to extend it to kind of where the existing Cottleville paths end. So we're very grateful that they're going to partner with us for this. The estimated project construction costs are about $1.4 million. Again, we applied for funding for design for St. Charles County and received an 80-20 split for that. And we then applied for TAP funds at a 70-30 split and are being recommended for funding for that. And then we also did apply for St. Charles County Road Board funding at a 80-20 split and are hopeful to receive that as well. The costs associated, like I just said, upgrading the path. Cottleville has requested a wider path. They currently are seeing a lot of foot traffic and people just walking, biking, driving golf carts in the grass right there. So they have requested a larger path. So the path in their right-of-way section is going to be 14 feet wide. And we're going to extend 14 feet from essentially the Cottleville side at Meadow Lake Drive all the way to Longwheat Drive. From Longwheat to Spring Orchard will be more so a 10-foot path. And that's mainly the OFallon section of the path.
A question about that path, shared use and golf carts. I know Cottleville is huge with golf carts, that their city is designed around them. What's the view about how many golf carts are going to continue on once these are all connected into OFallon portions of this greenway?
Yeah, so Great Rivers Greenway stances, they don't love golf carts on their paths. They wouldn't recommend them. And then City OFallon, we have signage up Highway K that suggests no motorized vehicles as well. Since we're,
Just or ban?
I think it says no motorized vehicles on our paths, if it's signed that way. I don't think they're banned. The ordinances in O'Fallon do allow anything over 6 foot that's not signed to have a golf cart on it. So unless we put the signs, they technically are allowed. And St. Charles County did say they recommended doing a 14-foot path here just in case you were to see a golf cart and a pedestrian. There's plenty of space to go around. At that transition point from O'Fallon to Cottleville, it will be hard to enforce a no golf cart realistically. So the idea was let's make it bigger, let's make it safe to keep everybody happy.
Or else tire spikes.
There you go.
I would just be worried about golf carts on that path with as many people who are walking on it, jogging and everything else. But I guess we'll worry about that when we get there.
So here's just a little bit of a closer look of the project. The left side is Spring Orchard Drive. There's currently some residential path that goes back into the neighborhood there, but it doesn't extend toward K and it doesn't go along Highway N. It kind of just goes back into the neighborhood. So we'd be starting kind of where their path leaves off, and then going east along Highway N. This whole section, it's a little hard to see. In the green box is the 10-foot section. And once we were to get past the intersection, we have a transition area where it transitions up from 10 feet to 14 feet wide. And then most everything east of there is going to be 14 feet wide. We did taper it down to about 10 feet at these intersections because there are a lot of neighborhood monument signs, a lot of utilities right at the intersections, and those were really hard to maneuver around. So we do have it tapering down to about 10 feet at every intersection when you're coming to the crosswalk. Realistically, that could slow fast-moving bicyclists or people down too. They would know that they're approaching the intersection. I'll go back. So this extends then all the way to Meadow Lake, where then we connect into Cottleville's path system. And then for the Highway N shared use path, we've heard a lot of interest of connecting from Spring Orchard Drive towards K, kind of to connect the majority of the Highway K path system back into this system. And then from there, northeast is all that Greenway system through Cottleville and up. So we are interested in doing that. We've heard quite a few other people express interest in that as well. The major hurdle there will be crossing the creek. If we have to do a path on the road to cross the creek, or if we have to do a standalone pedestrian bridge, both of those are challenging in their own sense. So we're keeping a path going that direction on our radar, though.
This is great work.
Any questions?
Was there a time frame on this Highway N, did you say that?
Yeah, so the Highway N path, based off the federal application, would put us in construction in 2028.
Lily, I've got a quick question, or it's really not a question. I touched on the path extending towards K, I think last time, maybe at Public Works, I think, maybe. I don't know. I just want to push on that again. I just would love to see that done. We're going to, with the path currently, everyone's going to Cottleville, spending their money in Cottleville. We really need to finish going into O'Fallon and bring them back into O'Fallon. There's a bunch of good restaurants right there, so I just want to touch on that again.
Yeah, I agree. We've heard some interest, so we're excited for that too. But I will say, once you connect to Cottleville with what they're doing with their developments, is they're trying to connect back into our Greenway system. So that would connect us then back to Sports Park. So realistically, someone could take a big loop and come back down into O'Fallon and take that whole Greenway system we just spoke about, which would be really exciting. But for businesses and stuff like that, I agree. Let's get it towards K.
Awesome. Thank you.
Start improving questions for? Great. Thank you very much. Very informative. I love all the pictures, even though I can't see all the diagrams there. Yeah, this is very nice. Thank you so much. I've been hoping we'd get an update on this. All right. So if nobody has any questions for Lily, I guess we can go with good of the order. Anybody have anything I want to bring up?
And the city did a fabulous job again at the fair. It was so well organized. It was the hottest
Oh, boy.
week of the summer, and yet it still was great. It worked really well. So they did a terrific job. And the other thing is, thank you to the city for giving us tickets to the Hoots game. I haven't been to a Hoots game since they were the Hoots. I used to go before that because I was one of the people operating the old manual scoreboard
Oh,
once in a while, which was a lot of fun
yeah,
when I was younger.
yeah.
But
River City Rascals, right?
that's they
yeah.
were River City Rascals. That's right. So that was a lot of fun. But thank you very much.
I also really want to compliment the Parks Department. I walk frequently in Sports Park, James Park, and O'Day Park, and it's amazing the work that's going on in those, shorthanded or not, there's a lot of work going on. And this morning and yesterday and the day before, I really feel sorry for the people out there that are having to do the edging and trimming along those walkways. You look at 90 degrees, heat index of 100 degrees, and they got this long stretch in the sunlight, and they had to turn around and come back the other way. They work hard, so hats off to them.
Thank you.
You do a great job.
We appreciate that.
Go ahead.
Yeah, just a thanks again for all the HFF, everything that goes on up there. That's obviously a big thing for the city. All the people I saw, you guys are up there all the time. Staff was up there quite a bit. The volunteers were always helpful, so thanks for that. Also, I was able to attend the SBR Bike and Brews at Fort Zumwalt Park. Sunday, they had the bicycle race. They closed the park. I got to see the last race, 70 minutes. They rode around that track. They were averaging 2 minutes to get around that mile course. And the comments I heard was they liked the hills, they liked the challenge, and those guys were worn out by the time they were done with that last race. So hopefully we can do more things like that in the park. I really think that's pretty cool to get outside people coming in. Some of them ate at the food truck right there, right down the street. So good job on that.
Yeah, we're really glad to hear that. Years ago, there was a bike race that took place for several years. And unfortunately, that business isn't here any longer. But yeah, when they reached out to John and John reached out to me, it was a no-brainer. It's really, I was wishing it wasn't so rainy in the beginning. That probably added to the excitement, right? Some carnage, but yeah, we were happy to have them.
Don, do you have anything?
I can't imagine riding a bicycle up and down those hills,
Oh, man.
even with a motor on it.
I had trouble walking. I mean, yeah, it's a challenge to walk up a couple of those hills, and they were flying up there. Oh, God. Okay. Thanks.
I just want to piggyback on what John said earlier, too, about the park staff. I spend a lot of time in going to all the different parks, and I tend to be a little nosy to what people are doing. When I see workers, I kind of pay attention. And I tell you, I rarely see workers not working hard, and I'm very impressed with the staff and how they are, even shorthanded, keeping everything up to looking good. So, yeah, I'm very impressed with the staff. Even in the heat and even with being short-staffed, you guys are doing a good job.
Yeah, we appreciate those comments. It's something we're kind of pushing the envelope a little bit. We're glad HFF is behind us at this point.
Yeah.
Because that was a big worry for us going into that shorthanded, and we did have we did have to extend some overtime opportunities, especially to keep up with jamming. So those guys were coming in on their days off, and that really helped kind of get us through. We were a little bummed to lose an applicant earlier this week, so we're really hoping we can find a couple more and get us set up for going into celebration lights and fall season, things like that. So, but yeah, the team we have now is outstanding, and they're doing a good job. We always have room for improvement. That's for sure. But we're really glad to hear that from you. Thank you.
You're welcome. And I just think overall, O'Fallon is a city, all of the events we do, we put are all into it, and we do a good job. Everybody, the volunteers and the staff do a really good job. We have been doing some things for many years, so we've gotten really good at it, but I really think that O'Fallon is the place to experience some really good events. Okay, if there is nothing else, then can we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved. Tremble?
Elder, second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.